today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're taking a look at the NUX Chorus pedal that's part of their Reissue Series that we're doing like a mini-series on. We have the entire line from NUX, and we're going to be talking about the chorus today.
Right, and we already did a short video where we went through all 6 pedals in the line, played a little clip, shared those with you. And so, starting with the Analog Chorus. A nice little purple box. Mm-hmm. And this shouldn't take long.
Famous last words.
It shouldn't.
Yeah, you're right.
Doesn't mean it won't.
Go get a drink and a snack.
So yeah, we have 3 knobs. We have the width, we have a speed, and we have a blend. And so the way we're going to approach this one is, and probably maybe the way we'll approach all of these, is what do the knobs do?
Yeah.
How would you set it?
Mm-hmm.
One of us, in this case, today will be Pat. And that'll be it. So we're going to start with the blend knob, because what the blend knob does on this pedal is it blends the dry signal with the affected signal.
Right.
And so this can work in different ways. Sometimes as you roll it up, you get more of the dry signal. Sometimes as you roll it up, you get more of the affected signal. In this particular case, if we go all the way to the left, you're going to have less of the affected signal.
Still some, but not much.
And we're back and forth on that at first, and the way we figured it out is if you dime everything else, you can hear it.
Yeah.
So if I just before you do that, the reference tab.
The Beard's wife's favorite guitar. His 99 Stratocaster with noiseless pickups. I'm gonna probably go 4 position for a lot of this into the Tyler JT22.
Well, an 80s looking guitar for an 80s sounding pedal.
Right, and my mullet, I couldn't quite pull it back, the moulet, but here we are.
All right, so we'll start just by clicking it on. We'll let you play for a second. We'll click it on.
Okay.
And then after a second of playing, I'm going to dime the speed and the width just so you can hear that there is something in there.
All right. Forgot to tell you, in addition to a snack, get some Dramamine.
Right. So there is something in there, and I rolled it all the way up just so they could hear it. But I think really to show the blend knob, what we ought to do is go back to kind of the width and the speed at 50. Let you maybe keep playing that, and I'll slowly roll it up so we can hear how it starts to come in and how it starts to affect the signal.
All right. I'm laughing because I had more clams than Red Lobster in there, but that's okay. Chords are hard.
It's getting late too.
Yeah.
That sounded really nice. There's times, I think a lot of times when we do these kind of episodes, we tend to really go for the pushed, the over exaggerated, so you can really hear it being picked up in the recording. But I thought there were some nice tones with that back a little bit. And it's only been in the last maybe year that I've started using a chorus pedal, and 2 of the choruses I've been using they're not like real expensive, and they're not real high featured choruses. I thought that sounded pretty nice.
Right.
Let's leave the blend all the way up, like we said, over exaggerated. And we'll run the width knob. We'll start with it all the way down and run the width knob all the way around just to see what that sounds like.
All right.
I'm really kind of interested to see where you're going to land on this pedal, because I feel like there's been some really surprisingly nice tones.
Right.
And one of the things I was thinking about as Pat was playing it, I'm like, wow, right there, that sounds really nice. I really like the way that sounds. We could get some comments here, maybe, from what I'm about to say. Do you find that there's things that when you hear other people's play them, you go, wow, that sounds really nice, but under your fingers, this phrase like under my fingers, when my fingers are on the guitar, maybe the pedal doesn't react the same way.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, everyone talks about the playing being in the player's hands, like whether it be how the effect works or how the tone of the guitar or the attack of the pick.
Right, because it could be the way you're playing it that's making it sounding really nice. That makes it sound really nice. And I don't play that way, so when I go to use it, my fingers don't have the same reaction to it. But while you're playing it, there's tones I'm hearing coming from that amp, and I'm like, that's really nice.
Which is part of the reason I wanted to play chorus, because I've been an 80s guy, worship guy, like, so that spatial sound is what I like to do. So a lot of the picking I do in open chords lend itself to that type of thing.
Sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Let's do speed.
Okay, let's do it.
I really thought when we got the speed way up,
it was going to get crazy.
It was going to get crazy, and it didn't.
And I don't know if that has something to do with the blend being dimed or not. I don't know that. I should know that, but I don't know that.
Well, I mean, if we dime everything, one chord on that.
But I'm curious if we... Yeah.
So one chord that. Yeah, that's killing it. But there were some spots in there where it was like really wide and open that I really liked.
Yep.
That's the pedal.
Right.
Last question. Where would you end up?
Yeah, this should only take a second. There's only 3 knobs, right? 3 knobs, no problem. Probably somewhere there. I like it wide. Try to get that width to get that spatial part. I don't like them too fast. And then I just like exaggerated the wet signal a little bit. I think that's pretty close without taking another pass at it and fine tuning, but that's probably pretty close.
Well, and if you need to adjust, when you play out, if you need to adjust.
Right.
And I think when you play out, we're going to throw a little bit of delay.
Yeah, and maybe even a little extra reverb just because, why not? Because we have a dispatch master right off camera.
Right.
And it does both.
The secret weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Yeah, it is.
Other than playing out. So, always like take a moment, pause, say thanks for watching. Thank you to everybody that's subscribing, clicking the notification bell, hitting the like button, leaving comments down below. How something feels under your fingers. Do you find that different pedals make you feel different under your fingers? And
or maybe a different version of the question. Have you ever played somebody else's rig and it sounded nothing like the guy that you were picking up his stuff and playing? It's the same concept, right? Like everything's set the way that you like to play it. someone else comes and plays it and it just doesn't sound right, and they don't play it the way that you have things set, right? So if I'm doing a lot of open picking, I want wide and I want that. And a lot of times you tend to be more of a chop player or maybe a couple little notes. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't clarify the question at all, I don't think.
There's this thing that just some things sound, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, stop out Instagram, Facebook, join the conversation there, or just follow. Give a follow. Anytime you interact with the channel, it really helps out, and we appreciate it. Thanks to NUX for sending these out. We appreciate that too. And I think
with that, I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you, no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear, especially if it's purple. Sounds like Andy Summers, even though he used a flanger.
Yeah, it sounds good. It really does.